Happy full moon to all of you watching, which, seeing as this is the beginning of my journey on this particular YouTube channel, it might be about two of y'all. But I trust that whoever this message is for, it will indeed find. Now, I have already cleansed the card, prayed over this space, and pulled the cards. And I want to channel messages regarding the full moon in September of 2024, which is also a partial lunar eclipse and is happening within the same week as the autumnal equinox. And I believe it's a super full moon, but that part I'm not too sure about. I am a spiritual reader and sound healer, so this is definitely my passion. So let's go over the tarot cards first. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil card. Then we also have the High Priestess, the Moon, the Two of Coins, the Nine of Batons, and the Six of Batons. And we'll get to the rest of the cards later on in the reading, even though I have already pulled them. We have three cards from the Power of Love Oracle deck. And then I have two cards from my Isis Oracle deck. Give me a moment to sit with the messages that are coming through for the collective. I feel like there is a lot of energy, a lot of good news. Let me start there. I feel like there's a lot of good news. I feel like spirit, source, God, whatever label you put on it, I use these words interchangeably because for me, it all fits under the same umbrella and it describes the same energy. But I feel like spirit really wants to encourage the collective. I feel like astrologically speaking, there has been a lot of things happening, and I am not an astrologer. I won't pretend to be. I am a tarot and oracle reader. So I can't go into full detail of all that's been happening, but I know it's been a lot of retrogrades. We've been in an eclipse season, and within the collective, there has also just been within doing readings for people. It's also been just a lot of transitions for a lot of people. It's been a lot of chaos going on. It's been a lot of things coming to the surface. What I'm trying to say is no matter what you have been moving through, processing, and how you've been growing, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And the Nine of Batons lets me know that it has been a lot. But sitting right beside the Six of Batons also lets me know and is an affirmation that your hard work is paying off. It is paying off, and you are going to have victory in the very long and arduous battle and transition that you have been in the midst of. Whatever it is that you have been moving through, you have been putting in the work. You've been grinding the gears. Like, you are really like full steam ahead, even though you might not feel like it. You might feel burnt out. You might feel, the effects of it, or you might feel encouraged. Wherever you are, regardless of how you feel about the process, the fact of the matter is you have been putting in the work, and spirit has been assisting you in this work as well. And so it's like an affirmation, a confirmation that you are indeed about to be on the other side and are about to experience victory in this. Now, with the High Priestess, the Moon, and the Two of Coins, I'm definitely feeling a message about balance. This Two of Coins being in the center of the spread. It's like, which would be the Two of Pentacles in a normal deck. It's saying like there's this invitation to make sure that you are maintaining balance in everything that you do. So you've been putting in a lot of work. You've been in the midst of transition. are you able to balance that out with rest? Are you able to balance that out with taking a second to, celebrate how far you've come? Can you pause as well as move forward? Because in your pause is where you're going to find clarity that's going to help you with your forward movement. I'm also seeing like a balance between masculine and feminine energy that might show up in your environment, meaning in your relationships between you and another person, balancing out your two energies, seeing how you and another person might hold energies that seem to be the opposite of each other, but they're actually not supposed to go in opposition. They're to complement each other, and seeing how you can rewrite the narrative to better express that and show that. It could also be the masculine and feminine energy within inside of you. So everybody holds both energies. Most people are just dominant in one or the other. And then there's some people who hold them equally. And that can manifest in a variety of different ways. But regardless, everybody holds both energies inside of them. And how can you make sure that both of those energies inside of you are remaining in a place of equilibrium for you specifically? So let's say you hold both energies, but you function better with a dominant feminine energy and how you present yourself and how you move around in the world. Have you been in a place where you've been having to lean more on your masculine energy? And it can be vice versa. So it's just about the equilibrium that is right for you. Like, are you forced to operate more in an energy that is just not your natural preset? And that's okay if you have done that in order to survive. But I feel like Spirit's just checking in to say, hey, let's go back to what really works for you, because you're in this 9 of batons energy, which is like grinding and moving forward and pushing through a lot. Like, you're really at the end of your battle here, and having to expend so much energy in with whatever transition and whatever growth experience you've been in lately is like, okay, but return back to yourself. Return back to self, which has been a theme I've seen in the collective and within myself, is like right now during the fall season this year, which fall hasn't even officially started yet, but in the fall season of this year, I feel like Spirit is going to invite a lot of us in the collective to return back to ourselves and to slow down. The only reason why we even have to have the act of returning to ourselves is because we've been going too fast. We've just been going and going and going and going, and we've been having to deal with things, and we've been having to move through things, and we've been having to process things. But what would happen if you slow down and really be really intentional with reconnecting with yourself and reigniting the intimacy within your own self and within your own being? You will find that will help you to get as grounded as you need to be in order to move forward without feeling burnt out, without feeling all of the negative things that can come out during these times, like not feeling enough, not feeling like you have enough. It's like doubts and insecurities and anxieties and worry and, all of those. You can combat that by just being grounded within yourself, remembering who you are, what you're capable of. And in order to do that, you have to make sure that the energies within you are really balanced and in a place of equilibrium. Now, with the Moon card and the High Priestess card right beside each other, I think that that's super funny, because the High Priestess, she knows everything. But the thing about the High Priestess that I don't feel like is talked about enough is that she seemingly doesn't know until the question is asked. Meaning that the High Priestess does not move in an energy of always thinking ahead and preparing for something down the line. She's in the moment. So when the moment asks something of you, she presents the answer. Like, here's what you need. And I think that that also is a part of the slowing down process of autumn. It's like, stop thinking 10 steps ahead. Stay in this moment. Trust this moment. Trust source. Trust yourself in this moment, that you have what you need to make it through this moment. And every time a new moment comes up, you will always have what you need. And the High Priestess is a card that confirms just that. Whatever questions, whatever is being asked of you in the moment that you need it, trust me, you will have the answer. And if you feel like you don't, that is an indication that you are still in the process of returning to yourself. So spend this time. Can you spend this full moon to next full moon being intentional with having intimate moments with yourself and getting to know yourself? Because that's going to be really helpful. That's going to be exactly what you need. And the moon card is a card of mystery. So it really just complements the High Priestess energy of like, no, you don't know. You might not know the bigger picture, or really you might not know the smaller picture. Let's say that. You might know like the bigger manifestations of what you desire or what spirit has promised you, but you don't know all the small steps it's going to take to get there. And that's okay. Like spirit is saying like, that is on purpose. I need you to go deeper in your faith with yourself and with your faith in me. This also is an invitation to grow your faith, whatever that looks like for you. Walk by faith and not by sight is definitely how I would describe the moon card. It can mean a plethora of things, but one of those things that I would use to describe it is walk by faith and not by sight. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil card. Underneath the Devil card, we have the King of Cups. Underneath the King of Cups, we have the Seven of Coins. Now, how I read the bottom of the deck is, this is what spirit is kind of doing within you. Like this is something that spirit is trying to shift within you. It might not be something that you're consciously aware of just yet, or a process that you even need to participate in. Like spirit is doing the heavy lifting on this. And I feel like with the Devil being on top of the King of Cups, being on top of the Seven of Coins, is like, I feel like spirit is trying to move you into a place of non-attachment to the results and non-attachment to the process. Basically a space of non-attachment. I feel like you have developed this really deep attachment to either the process or the results. And when one of those things don't turn out the way that you want to, it sends you into a spiral of doubt, of insecurities. It just sends your mind into this negative loop that's not really helpful for you in terms of moving forward. And so spirit is working that out through a series of events that might happen within your life, conversations or less karmic lessons that might come up within the next few weeks, where it's like you really grow into this space of non-attachment to the entire process. Like, I'm here, I'm manifesting, and I do recognize these are things that I desire, but I also recognize that I cannot control anything about the process. I can't control the steps. I can't control how the world reacts to me and to my process. But I know that the big picture thing that I'm trying to manifest is going to happen, whatever that even looks like, whenever that even happens. Like it really is an intricate balance of manifestation of like, yes, we're not saying don't desire this thing. Recognize and own your desire, do the rituals, say the prayers, do the work. Do the work in the 3D world in order to bring about the things that you want, but really live and do it from the perspective of not being attached to anything. Now, let's go to the Isis Oracle cards. I want to include a picture of what the cards look like because on one side of the card is the picture, on the other side of the card is the message. So I'm starting with the card that is on the left side. If the picture isn't like in the inverse, it looks like a doorway. And this is what the back of the card says. Enter the chamber of healing. A spiritual gift of healing is coming to you now. Be open. Get this. Be open without expectation or preconceived notions. That's crazy. That's why I don't flip them over into the end, because I'm like, they usually will confirm what came out during the reading. Now, be open without expectation or preconceived notions and allow the healing energy to help you find the best solution for any situation that does not appear to be as it should be. Expect your miracle. And now for the card that has a depiction of the goddess Isis, Queen of Heaven. The Queen of Heaven, the divine empress of the skies, acknowledges your feminine authority now. As a man or a woman, you have a life path of spiritual leadership to bring qualities of mercy, compassion, and wisdom into the world. Now let's move to the power of love activation cards. Spontaneity. You move beyond the constraints of the mind and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. Self-love. You realize that love of self is necessary to love another. And finally, humility. You have developed the loving awareness that you and everyone else are the same, but on different paths. So those are 3 affirmations that might be helpful for you to use. And I will also encourage you to always write your own affirmations. Like, what is it that spirit is really working on you with? Like overcoming some sort of limiting belief or a lie. Affirmations are the truths, because we're trying to combat the lies in our head that's telling us the opposite, right? We're trying to rewrite the narrative. So how can you help spirit? By writing your own affirmations. If you think of one during this reading, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video and tuning in. If you would like your own personal private reading, it would look something like this. I do distant readings, which means I will pre-record them and email them to you. And that way you can re-listen as often as you need in order to really soak in the message. If you would like that, the link will also be in the description box. And once again, happy full moon, and above all else, be blessed.